Hi, welcome to KiwaniTalk. My name is Gary Gardner, and tonight we have a very special episode with our remote facility equipment provided by the Dearborn Cable Commission at a very important Meet the Candidate night here at the Park Place. We're going to have tonight mayor candidates for the city of Dearborn, mayor candidates for the city of Dearborn Heights, and we're going to have candidates later on for Dearborn Heights and Dearborn City Council races. But to talk about this and explain how this has been set up and why we're doing it, we have the president and CEO of the Dearborn Area Chamber, I get that right, Jackie Lovejoy. Jackie, welcome to the show.
Gary, thanks for having me again. A delight.
Thank you for doing this. It's a public service. We're going to have tonight to meet the candidates. People can get to know them, especially the mayor, especially the city council members. How did this come about?
You know, this was in place before I came to the chamber 8 years ago. It's a great meet and greet. It's made to be a true mingle, so you can walk up to your candidates and ask them one-on-one questions. I'm kind of lucky I walked into it. And I have to say we're a little lucky with the pandemic, because while we did this virtually in June, because we didn't know we were going to open, we already had it set up.
Right.
To have it after the primary, we had more than 150 people RSVP tonight. And I always joke, you know, I'm not going to give all my money to a financial rep that I meet online and I don't meet in person. And people want to meet their candidates and talk to them face to face.
They're going to get a chance to do that tonight.
Yes, yes.
That's a great thing. Now you've been sponsored by a number of people. Who's helped sponsor this?
Oh yeah, I have to tell you, Comcast always comes to the plate. They have a great government relations arm, and so they came to the plate. ServPro of Dearborn and Dearborn Heights is our community spirit sponsor, and they have a boatload of great good works that they do. They just won Small Business of the Year with the Chamber Choice Awards that we host. And then Hype Athletics came to the table, because this doesn't happen for free, and it's free to the public. So we had appetizers, we had the candidates, and we really had almost 100% turnout of our candidates.
That's a very, very good thing. So to get people to know when they go out and make a vote, it's very important to make an informed decision. Again, the League of Women Voters is helping people to do that.
Huge help. Their ballots are here tonight. We'll have them at the chamber. They're at all the public libraries. It's a great nonpartisan, nonprofit lineup of all of our candidates and what their platform is.
And the Dearborn Area Chamber is not just for candidate nights, it's for a lot of other things. Real quick, in the last minute or so, what does the Dearborn Chamber do for people and the businesses and the community?
We're conduits, we're conveners, we're communicators. That's what we do. We make connections for people. And we're a private nonprofit membership organization. We promote each other as members. And so we do everything from retail and restaurant promotion for something like Taste of Dearborn or Shop Small. We do educational seminars. We just had Consumers Energy come and talk about 12 storms, 12 weeks, 6 of them catastrophic. Of course, there's infrastructure problems. We haven't seen weather like this before. So that's what we do. We seek to educate and inform. And during the pandemic, the SBA, the U.S. Chamber, PPP through the federal government and all the banks, we referred members and non-members to people who could help them through those hoops and get the aid that they need.
Well, Jackie, thank you very much. People want to reach out to the chamber, they can do it on the web by going to
DearbornAreaChamber.org.
And by telephone, the old way.
313-584-6100. We'd love to have you call.
Jackie Lovejoy, President, CEO of Dearborn Area Chamber. Thanks a lot for putting this on. We'll be right back in a little bit with the real show. Thanks. Don't go away. Welcome back. We're here with Dearborn Council member Bob Abraham, running for re-election for Dearborn Council. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Great to have you. So, Bob Abraham has been on council for a while.
20 years now.
And you know some of the things that are important to the people of Dearborn, issues. What does Bob Abraham, with that experience, identify as the big issues for Dearborn?
You know, in Dearborn, we're still a neighborhood community, and I think that is the most important thing. You know, we have lots of new issues. We're a progressive city. We're progressive people here. But at the end of the day, we all come home and we want to enjoy our life. We want to enjoy our neighbors, our neighborhoods, our front yards, our backyards, and we want a clean and safe environment to raise our kids. And I'm never going to lose sight of that. That's the most important thing to me. That's why I ran for election 25 years ago. That's why I'm running for re-election now, is to preserve what what I grew up with, so our next generations can have similar experiences in our city.
Are there any specific big issues, though, that are impacting the city that are
Well,
going?
yeah, of course, we're coming off short term. You're looking at, obviously, we had some infrastructure issues with the flooding and the rainfall. That absolutely has to be addressed. I believe, my opinion, that's a regional issue. We have to bring in the state, the Army Corps of Engineers, and our colleagues at the county level to solve that problem. It's just not unique to Dearborn. It's not just in our backyards. That watershed has to be addressed long term, number one. And then number two, of course, always high on the list in Dearborn is public safety, police, fire, ambulance care. We've created a very high standard in our community, and my goal through the transition from Mayor O'Reilly to our new mayor is to make sure that the future council is really invested in preserving those traditional values of public safety going forward.
And public safety, again, is a huge thing. I'm all for policing because it gives me more business for my law practice. But I would like to say that that's an issue, and the quality of life thing. You have the perspective of long-term on the council. How is Dearborn doing?
I think we're doing well. We just got the census results for 2020, and our population has grown by over 12%. Property values are up. School enrollment is up. I think those are all key indicators that the programs and the policies put in place by Mayor Guido, followed by Mayor O'Reilly, to a certain level have been successful. At the same time, I think this is a great opportunity for new leadership to stay with this progressive change and keep moving our community forward.
And all this takes money, and with 12% more people, how is our budget doing, and what's the plan for that?
Financially, since I've been on the council, the budget has always been a struggle. Like everybody's household, there's never enough money. All we can do is manage the finite amount of revenue that comes in, try and maximize the value for the taxpayers. That's the taxpayers' money, it's not our money. And make sure that we spend that money in a way that represents the priorities of the taxpayers and the residents of Dearborn. And that's not always easy. Everybody has different priorities. Some people like libraries, some people like pools, some people like policing, some people like quiet enjoyment. They don't think we need any of those things. They'd rather see their property taxes go down. And so we really have to find the right balance to charging for property taxes. Some people think they're too high, and delivering services that people expect.
We've got about 2 minutes left and a little bit of time. That's your camera. Tell the people of Dearborn why Bob Abraham should be elected once again. Continue the great work you're doing.
Gary. It's been 5 terms on office, 20 years experience. Like I mentioned earlier, I really believe this is a transitional period for our community. We're going to have a new leader in the mayor's office, and I believe the council acts like ambassadors for our community. We listen to the people, we decipher their priorities, and we set the agenda through the budget for the mayor and the administration. And I want to lend my experience both in the financial world as a CPA, as a leader in the business community, as a CEO and CFO, to our community, to our residents, to help be progressive, make the changes that need to be made, and at the same time, preserve our traditions. I've been endorsed by the Dearborn Police Officers, the Michigan Police Officers Association, the Dearborn Firefighters. I hope to have a few more endorsements coming in the mail soon that I can't announce yet. But these are key groups that see the value in my leadership and my experience. And I think my track record has been very transparent. I try and find reasonable solutions to problems and not make mountains out of molehills, and at the same time not ignore issues that residents have in any particular area of the community.
Well, senior councilman for Dearborn, Bob Abraham. Good luck.
Thank you for
November
having me.
2nd.
I appreciate
Good to
everything
have
you do, and your decades of service to the Kiwanis Club do not go unrecognized, and we appreciate that as well.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll be right back with another candidate. Don't go away. Welcome back. We have another candidate for the Dearborn City Council, Lola Elzane. She's running for a seat on the council November 2nd. And Lola, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So what does Lola Elzane believe are the big issues facing Dearborn and how?
So as a resident of the city of Dearborn, I feel like we can work a lot on economic development. We need to bring in more retail stores. We lack that. For example, where my current office sits now is in the old Hallmark building. And Hallmark was iconic in the city of Dearborn. That's where everybody went to get their last minute birthday cards and last minute gifts. It was more of a sentimental thing, and I'm a very sentimental person. So that's one of the things that I think we need to focus more on, economic development. Public safety is huge for me. I am raising 2 little girls in the city, and I think it's important. We have one of the best police departments in the entire country, and I think it's important that we continue to support the police department. I also believe in community policing. Growing up in Dearborn, there were more police officers on the streets. I knew my local police officer, and I feel like our children like that these days. We don't have enough community police officers on the streets, so I think it's more important. It's important for us right now in today's times to build those relationships, to allow our children and residents to build those relationships with those police officers. Instead of living in fear, I think it's important to have those connections with the police officers. Also, neighborhood services are very important. So we do a great job with keeping our city streets clean, and it's important to continue doing those, working on those services. Senior citizens, I think the city could do a little bit more, perhaps fish for more grants for the senior citizens, and I think that keeping those senior citizens here and making sure they're happy and comfortable is also extremely important for the city.
All of that comes down to the main source of income, which is property taxes. So what's your view on the property tax rates and going forward?
So for property taxes, I feel because we have many complaints on property taxes. Obviously, we have one of the highest millage rates in the entire state, but we also have the best services. We have great city services, right? And we can always improve those city services. However, I feel like if we work on our economic development and we impose some sort of commercial tax rule, and by imposing a commercial tax rule, we'll be able to alleviate some of the tax burden off of our residents. Okay, we'll be able to continue those city services, and we'll be able to streamline more of those services by alleviating the taxes from our residents. However, imposing a very small commercial tax rule where our business owners won't even feel it. It works in other cities. I think it would work great in Dearborn. We don't currently do that, and I think if we came up with a strategic plan to do that, everybody would be happy.
So why does Lola Elzane want to be on the Dearborn Council? What is it? What's driven you to do this?
So I have my 2 businesses here in the heart of Dearborn. I live in Dearborn. I'm raising my 2 daughters in Dearborn. I grew up in Dearborn, and Dearborn is very dear and near to my heart. I have the business experience. I recently graduated with my MBA from the University of Michigan Ann Arbor Business School of Ross, and I feel that the experience that I have to bring to the table is very valuable. I know my worth. I'm a very passionate person. I'm very vocal, and I know that I could help change a lot in the city that would help tremendously with streamlining those services, as well as alleviating those property taxes off of residents while imposing those commercial tax rules.
So you've got about 30 seconds to talk right to the people of the city of Dearborn. What else? What's the most important thing they need to know about you?
I want all of the residents to know that I'm very vocal. I'm a very passionate person. I'm confident that if you vote for me, you will be extremely happy with your decision, and you'll vote for me again in 4 years. Please vote for Lola Elzane for Dearborn City Council on or before November 2nd.
Very good. Well, best of luck to you. It's
Thank
a
you so
long
much.
road to hoe.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on getting this far.
Thank you for having me.
Get out there and
Pleasure's all
vote
mine.
November 2nd.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you in a minute with another candidate. Don't go away.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We have now another candidate for the Dearborn City Council, Saeed Alawadhi, who is going to tell us all about himself and what you identify as the big issues for Dearborn. Saeed, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
So what does Saeed Alawadhi believe are the big issues for Dearborn?
There's a lot of different issues that are very important. I'm going to just talk about a few of them that I'm really concerned about and really want to work on, and that's to make sure that we ensure government transparency and fiscal responsibility to make sure we have a balanced and equitable budget. I also want to work with investors, and that's both in East and the West Downtown Development Authority, to diversify our businesses and to make sure that we attract more retail businesses. Number three, we want to ensure our police and fire department have the necessary funding and training to keep our family safe, and that's really a very big priority for me, and I think it should be for all of our residents. We want to improve our parks and recreation, and we also want to work with our police department to implement the speed humps or speed bumps to make sure that we don't have any more people, particularly children, getting hit by cars or getting killed by these high-speed race.
So how do you work on getting the transparency? What do you propose to get that situation a little bit clearer?
I think with my accounting background, I think that would help me, give me the set of skills that's needed to build and to review these transparencies, particularly with our budgets. I think we need to do more study, more auditing, more reviews to make sure that we don't have money being wasted rather than keep raising our property taxes.
So, and taxes again are a big issue. So how do you pay for the stuff that you want to do without raising the taxes? Again, besides just getting that sharp accountant's pencil out there and crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
So we have to make sure that we're allocating the proper amounts to the necessary areas where we need these funds to go to, whether it's city services or anything else. We need to make sure that we're not wasting any money. We need to make sure that that we're getting our money's worth with different contractors. We need to make sure that we're getting our money's worth, basically. Having to work with different contractors to make sure that we can get better deals with different contractors.
So you've got about a minute or so. If you want to talk to that camera and say, why should voters of Dearborn vote for Saeed Alawadhi?
I appreciate the opportunity. I lived in the city of Dearborn. This is my home for over 40 years. This is where I raised my family. This is where I went to school at. I have served the city of Dearborn for the last 25 years. Some of the things I did is I've been a police department traffic commission for the last 8 years. Prior to that, I was a police delegate. I sit on many nonprofit organizations as board of director. I have spent a lot of time and effort in advocating for our census. Of course, that's how we know how we bring money to our city and how we get our representation. I worked very, very hard during our pandemic. I was able to conduct and coordinate, over 22,000 of COVID testings along with my family. We did weekly food drives, and there's so much that I have done in the city, and I hope to earn our residents' vote, at least be one of the 7 candidates.
Well, thank you very much. Good luck and best wishes to you. November 2nd. It's going to be a long night. Saeed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. We'll be right back with another candidate. Don't go away. Welcome back. We have another candidate for Dearborn Council. This time we have Sam Lookman running for Dearborn Council November 2nd coming up. How's it going?
It's going good.
Well, there are issues that are affecting the people of Dearborn. What does Sam Lookman believe the big issues are that you've identified in your race so far, Sam?
So the biggest issues that I've been hearing from residents, as well as what I believe myself, are infrastructure, of course taxes, and the largest of all is accountability.
So, infrastructure, what's going on? What's the problem with the infrastructure? As if we don't know, but tell us what you found out.
So what I found out with infrastructure is that obviously there's a lot of changes in our weather, and we do need a lot of investment into green infrastructure. This is not something that's foreign to me, and I'm an environmental activist that's been endorsed by the Sierra Club, and I've been bringing hundreds of trees and rain gardens to the city using corporate money and grants from nonprofits. So it's something that I am working on already, but I will continue doing as a city council person. One of the things that I'm looking for is accountability once I get into office. I already have learned and researched that the city's used almost $1 billion of taxpayer money on failed infrastructure projects since 1998. So I'm looking to make sure that we don't repeat the same mistakes of the past, that we are going to do better next time around, and that we are going to invest in sound infrastructure the next time around.
So where do you go to get the advice for the infrastructure? How do you do that?
One of the things we have to make sure is that there's proper vetting of the contractors that design our sewage projects next time. In 2018, we were just sued by the contractor that was building our sewage project for poor design, and I don't want that happening again.
So all the infrastructure takes money.
Absolutely, it does.
The kind of infrastructure issues that you mentioned, $1 billion.
Absolutely does.
Nothing to sneeze at. Where does that come from for the future projects? And then the green things are great, but we need the hard material. We need the pipes. We need the concrete. We need all that stuff. Where does that come from? The money.
So one of the things that what I mentioned was accountability. When we have a city that's spending $8.5 million on art space lofts, or almost $4 million on a bathhouse at Dunworth Park, or $500,000 almost on a logo, or $200,000 on COVID tents that went up after the restaurants opened up, you start to question where the money is actually being spent. Is it really being spent on things that were absolutely necessary, and could it have been better utilized on such things as shoveling for seniors, or keeping Snow Branch Library open, or perhaps maybe cutting some of those $200,000 department head salaries and using towards infrastructure projects that were absolutely necessary? That's where the accountability part comes in, and that's where I'm going to be leading on accountability issues.
What about taxes and the tax structure for the city? You got a smile on your face.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. Is you can't talk about taxes and spending you can't talk about taxes without talking about spending and some of those things. Having salaries like $200,000, or even a mayor that makes more than the governor herself, these are things that make us raise an eyebrow. Most of the residents don't know these things, but I'm somebody who researches, and I'm very interested in looking at what we are actually spending our money on. And once we do find out where the money is being spent, if it's illogical, then we need to trim the fat and see how much we can save our residents.
Well, we've been down to our last minute or so. What do you specifically want to say to the people of Dearborn as to why they should vote for Sam Lookman?
Well, I am a community activist, and I've been one for years. I've been a resident of Dearborn for 30 years. I'm a single mom, 2 kids. Above all, I want to make this city a better place to live for everybody. And people ask me all the time why I'm running. I'm running because I don't want to see another tire go flat. I don't want to see another neighbor get cancer or have asthma. I don't want to see another library close. I don't want to see another penny of our tax dollars wasted. I certainly don't want to see another park get neglected or another flood destroy another home. So I am asking all of you to vote for me as one of your 7 votes this coming November. My name is Sam Lookman. I am the only Sam running for City Council. And again, one of your 7 votes is all I'm asking for. Thank you so much for your time.
Sam, thank you very much. Good luck on November 2nd.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
It's easy to get caught up in the details. The day-to-day grind, numb to the noise, going round and round and round. Deep down, there's something missing, a void inside, hole to fill, a life lacking. Then, in a minute of clarity, it hits you. The aha moment. You're needed. Kids need you. Kids of all kinds. All these funny, rambunctious, sweet, attention-seeking, vulnerable bundles of energy. They need your love and support. Some have huge life hurdles. Poverty, disease, hunger. And they're reaching out for you. Around the corner, around the world. You are a Kiwanian at heart, a role model, a guide, a builder of dreams. Together, we are Kiwanis, passionate and strong, ready to move mountains or grains of sand. Imagine every child reaching their potential. The power to help is in you. It's not about us. It's about them. Do you hear the call? Kids need Kiwanis. Kiwanis needs you.
Well, Jackie, this has been a wonderful night. I think the candidates, the people who have been here, everybody's learned a lot. I hope the viewers have learned a lot from the program. What do you want to say?
I want to thank everyone for coming out. I'd like to thank everybody for participating and exercising their right to vote and to really get the facts before they go to the polls. I mean, that's what this particular event is all about.
And again, we want to thank our sponsors for this evening, the Dearborn Area Chamber, CEO and President.
We want to thank Park Place. They did a beautiful job tonight
Yeah,
for
they
more
always
than
do.
150
Yeah.
people. Comcast supported this event, as they always do. Surf Pro of Dearborn and Dearborn Heights and Hype Athletics, they just stepped to the plate because we make it free to the public. It's wonderful.
It's a great thing. So thank you for sponsoring this. And now it's time to wrap up the show, maybe get a beer.
Amen.
See you again next time on KiwaniTalk. I'm Gary Gardner. And this is Jackie Lovejoy.